My last announcement is a rather sad one. For those who have been a member of the club, know Richard and Barb Hall. Richard was president for, I think, 2 or 3 years at least during the time that we didn't have a space to go to. And Barb was our newsletter editor for lots of years. Unfortunately, Barb passed away a couple days ago. So all I've heard from Richard is that she passed away, and as they get things settled, we'll pass out more information. And along the same lines, the Mike Porter is having a celebration of life this Sunday. So there was stuff in the newsletter about that. So if you can make it, that'd be great. And a number of us will be there. So, okay. So earlier in the year, when the topic of doing demonstrators came up, I volunteered to do something in October. And that time, October was a long way away, but it came. And so what I'm going to do tonight is talk about platters. And you can see over here, there's a whole bunch of different designs for platters. The nice thing about a platter is you can use dimensional lumber because you only need 1 inch or 1.5 inches of wood. So if you go to some place that has some really pretty spalded or figured flat work, you can make a platter out of those. Some of these start out as small as 3/4 of an inch. So tonight we're going to talk about basically how we do the colored part of this. And so you can take a look at different designs for platters. So to get ready for this, I started work out two pieces here that are not breakable. So we can focus most of the demo tonight on what to do with this part. So so when it comes to design, sorry. Things that you want to look at is depending on how big the platter is, what the back's going to be, whether it's going to be straight or a little orging, the amount of space that you can use for the coloring, and then for everything is how you're going to mount it this way, and then when you flip it over, how you're going to do the back side. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So on this one, I've drawn, looked at the figure in here, and then drew a couple lines here where I think we want to have the colored, and then the rest of this will be the bold part. So let me clean this, shouldn't I? Okay. So we've got a recess here. No, we have a tenon here. It's mounted with a tenon, and the back is really just straight right now. If we want to do anything on the back, we're going to do that when we flip this over. So we're going to focus on the front. And what's that? Does point down work better? Yeah, that works, doesn't it? So what we have to figure out is how much of this is going to be colored. I put a bead on all mine to separate the color from the small bow part. And then the focus tonight is just going to be mostly on how we do the dyeing. So the first thing you want to do is make sure this is, before you start dyeing it, is as good as it can be. So I'm just going to make a clean cut here. So this not bad. It's a little rough here, but we're going to sand that out. And the line here is where we're going to put our bead. So the edges here, they're going to be dyed black, and we may make it really short, narrow, or we'll figure that out when we flip it around. But for right now, let's just finish this, and then we'll do the bowl side. So I like to use these centrifugal sanders. And I'm going to start at probably 120. Yep. So we're just going to do this real quick. Up to 180. So this part is going to be dyed, and then we're going to sand back the dye. So I'm just going to go up to 220. And that's it for now. So whenever you're doing these dyeing operations, the first color you're going to put on is your darkest color, which is usually either black or a dark blue. And the dyes I use are chestnut. I get them all through Craft Supply. They have their own brand, which I've also used. I don't see a big difference between them. And these are alcohol based. So we're going to start with black. And I want to go slow. So this is about 500. So being alcohol based, it dries right away. if I was Jimmy Clues, I'd put a lighter to it and catch it on fire a little bit, but it dries right away. So that's all going to go away. And when I'm doing dyes, I like this Abernet that has the mesh. And we're going to go up to 220. Yeah, you can blow out the rather than clogging up and doing a new disc, you can just clean it out. So what the black's going to do is soak into any of the figure, and we'll highlight the figure. We'll do a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going to go to the second color. And you can see where it's brought out the figure. And I think for the second color, we'll do red.
Can we ask questions along the way here?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I might have missed it. When you were sanding, what you started out, I think 120, and how far did you go?
I just went up to 220, 240.
Okay.
And
Hey,
when we, because we're going to be sanding a lot. And when we do the last one, we'll take it up to 600.
gotcha. Thank you.
So you're starting to see some color there. And then again, we're going to sand that off. The nice thing about this whole process, if you don't like it, you can just sand away the last color and do it again. That's good. And now we can go to a third color, which is going to be yellow. Yeah, let me put some more on. All right. So we've done 3 colors and stand it down a bit. At this stage, it's mostly just trial and error. So you get something you like. And I think that would look pretty nice as it is. Remember, we're going to put a bead here and then hollow that out. Another technique you can do when you're doing these so this is purple, rather dark. And if I put this on the whole thing, it would really get dark. So we're going to just sort of put a little bit around here. And then we're going to blend that. So with denatured alcohol, we're going to try and blend what we just did. So there's no hard lines. So that's what we got. And again, you can start playing with different colors and stuff, but I think for tonight, we're just going to stop here. I'm gonna go back to the black because we want to do the rim. And I forgot to do that. Okay. Always put the top on these things because they do spill. So the next task is to do the bowl. So we're going to start with a bead there. And that's going to be this bead right here. Oops. Well, And I was looking for my beading tool, but I knew I was going to forget something. So we'll do it the old fashioned way. So I'm going to put a bead probably right before the black starts. So I've used the D-Way beading tools quite a bit. You can see on a lot of these, they have beads on the front or the back, and they work pretty good. Now we'll have to use, well, think about, let's see. One thing that would help is put my glasses on. Lo and behold, I found my beading tool. Let me try that again. Yeah. Do a little more. So notice I'm rotating the tool slightly to do the bead. Now I start clean up my mess here. So the bead is right there, and I put a little more than I wanted, a little space between the color and the bead. So let's do that. I wonder I couldn't find my glasses. Yeah. Okay. So this area right here need to clean up. that's not going to look so good. So I'm going to put the bead right there, and that is not where I actually wanted it, but it'll work. There we go. Yeah, that'll work nice. So I'm going to color that black now. Nothing left. Here we go. So I'm going to put it in reverse, make it a little bit easier. I want to get rid of this white space between the color and the bead. Normally I take a little Sharpie to get that, but it's not going to happen tonight. Yeah. Okay. So the next step is to make the bowl. So we're going to go from the bead down to the center there. Good idea. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Okay. So we're going to go from here to the center and running about 1,000 RPM. So we've got about 1/2 inch to 3/4 to go down. This went to a bigger gouge. It's pretty clean. Fix the little divot there. So we want a little sharper cut between the bead and the bowl. Let me go back to smaller tool. Oh, shoot. We need to clean that up a little bit. I still have enough wood there. Do another pass. Okay. So I'm going to sand that about 180. $220.
Roger, do you ever take scrapers at this point?
Say again?
Do you ever use scrapers at this point?
I do, and I have a couple in there, but I've got a clean cut right now. So
Looks good.
since we're not going to do any more on that, so we're going to take that up to 600. And I didn't bring any walnut oil. Maybe I can buy some from John. So on the colored part, I only went to 240. Now we'll take it up a little bit higher. $320.
That's the $8.
Thank you. Okay. Get rid of dust. I must have hit the bead with the sander, so I'm going to go fix the black part. Did I get that? I've got these pens at home that hold dye. No, but that's not a bad idea.
Couldn't hear what was not a bad idea.
Okay. And of course, I screwed that up, put a little black there I didn't want.
Yeah, I missed that too. Somebody said there was an idea. You said that's not a bad idea.
Q-tips.
Uh,
They do with that pen. Okay,
Thanks.
this is where an air compressor comes in handy. But we don't have one. So to finish this, this is where we're going to go to this is a demo we had, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. It's a what's it called? Hydrocoat Resistant Plus. And I think Bill got that, bought a bunch of it. The Hydrocoat. It's a varnish. Yeah, I think I got this from you. The nice thing about this is it dries quickly between coats. I want to go slow. So I actually getting ready for this, I videotaped a demo, and I'm going to put that on our YouTube channel. But when I did the one practice one, I tried to use a rattle can varnish. Only at that time it was a little bit cold. It's like 50 degrees in my shop, and it just didn't work well at all. So I sanded that off on the demo piece and went to this. Say that again.
The jar is separated.
What is it?
So,
So-
layer. Oh,
So-
it's just the color that the light
Yeah.
penetrates.
So it's mixed 50-50 with denatured alcohol. So maybe that's what you're seeing. So I'm gonna put another coat on. One thing, if you do this before you start putting the varnish on, it looks really pretty crappy. But once you put the varnish on, it makes it pop pretty good. Put some on the rim. Let it dry. I'm not going to, that's a good question. I was going to put walnut oil. Usually, often I put Pinch Plus on the center. Most of those are like that. But maybe that's a good idea. So let me do that. That's looking pretty good. It popped the color pretty good. And let's just put another couple coats on. So if you look at the samples I have over there, I tried a whole bunch of different color combinations. And something you just have to play with to see what you like.
This was a lot more subtle.
Yeah. So maybe, I guess I could put another color on, but won't do that for a demo. But you got the idea of how you put dye on. And this is where you need an air compressor and this sand in there, dust. So if you take a look at the back, this we're going to flip this around and do the back. This one has a little curve in it, and we have plenty of wood to do that. So I think that's what we'll do. This also had a recessed tenon on it, which I didn't do here. But what we're going to do is flip this around now. And my key. So it could use a few more coats of varnish, but that's what we have. So I'm going to use my cold jaws. So I've got a vacuum chuck at home, which is what I would use, but I like these. Actually, I like them a little bit better than the Longworth ones. And being thin, this can fit under these blocks here and hold it in pretty tight. Yeah. And this will let me make fairly good cuts. With that?
Oh, the battery just went.
Okay. So different backs. Let's see here. Yeah. See, let's see. So that one is fairly flat. This one has a pretty good curve on it, which you can't see. But we're going to go put a little orgy in there. Okay. So because of these blocks, I can't start right where I want to, but I'm going to start about right here. Get rid of this first. Yeah, you didn't see that. When you can, use a bigger hammer. Okay. But, yeah, so since I can't start where I want to start, we're going to do this in reverse. So we're going to go this way and we're going to cut that way. Go a little slower. Oh, I don't have a grub screw on this. Yep. So How tight can I go? Try this one more time. If it doesn't work, well, okay, it didn't come off that time. I think that looks pretty good. So we're just going to go to sanding. Go forward. Starting at 180. So we can either leave that flat or put a recess in. On this one, top down. So put a little foot there, and I've got, not sure how much wood I got. Let me just take a look. Yeah. So let's make it flat. Play it safe. So all I'm going to do is make about a 2-inch foot. Ooh. I think that's flat. Yeah, a little bit more. Okay, they'll fit flat. So I think I'll put the walnut oil on the back. Oops. New bottle. All right. Got the little sealer on there.
One way to get rid of it.
Yeah. Okay. At least you can see it. Thanks. Ideally, you'd put your name and type of wood right in there. There it is. Didn't quite get the rim off. So that's the platter. Let's put a few more coats of lacquer on it. Gonna be tight.
Looks a little iffy. I'm not sure I would do that without my face shield on and standing off to the side.
Oh, he's not gonna turn, he's not gonna turn it over.
I was gonna say, it doesn't take much to get it going really, really fast.
Put Kevlar.
Maybe this is the time you go to a hand. I've tried a lot of different varnishes. One thing I learned that they're all very sensitive to how warm and cold your shop is. And since I was doing a lot of these in the winter, 50 degrees is not the temperature to put varnish on.
So how often does this get on the kitchen table?
Okay. Well, it's a demo. You can pass that around. So most of these have at least 10 coats of varnish on them. I think as I say, I got an hour video on the on doing this on my demo, which has a lot more details and came out a lot better than this. This is the platter. What is that one? Yeah, so I can pass that around. So the video that I did to practice for this, that was the piece that I did. So I'll show you from start to finish. It also had I used a glue block because it was so thin. So the video talks about how to use a glue block, and had the figure was had a number of holes in it. So I've showed filling that with I think coffee grounds, but anyways, thank you for your attention.
Question back in the back.
Yep.
What'd you use the glue box for?
For on the back, it was so thin, I didn't have enough wood for a tenon, and I didn't want to put a recess in because it wouldn't make much of a bowl. So I put a glue block on and turned it that way. Yeah, at least. Yeah. This is called Hydrocoat. Hydrocoat Resistant Plus. And I don't know what the difference between this and other varnishes are. But as I say, we had a demonstrator here a couple of years ago that did that, and 30 seconds to 60 seconds between coats. You put on 10 coats, in 10 minutes or so. No, it's commercial. And I'll put the information on the website where I got it. Say again? Yeah, Jay Shepard. Yeah. And so I've used it quite a bit, and I found it so easy to use that I've given up on the rattle cans and such. It dries real quick, and it gives a good finish. But if you ever play with the dyes, again, start with the darkest color, and then sand that off, and then you just go through. You can see all the different colors that came out. And if you don't like it, you can just sand it off and start over again. Okay. Well, thanks, everyone.
Time for,
Good.
Yeah. Raffle time.